I love all of them. I do. I love them so much.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, but
really
you
do.
have to figure out that, well, we all need to know that love is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
What person you're going to put in the work with? When you get bored and you don't want to be around this individual anymore, are you just going to flip the script on them? Or are you going to work to rejuvenate the relationship? All of these things are important.
Yeah, and I think I brought her up because she's worth the work. Welcome, everyone, to the Simple Conversations podcast show. I am your host, Daniel Balvaguer, and you know what day it is. It's Valentine's Day. Yes, love is in the air, people. But I do have some bad news. I don't have a Valentine. It's terrible, right? What can I say? It's been really tough out here in these streets just to really find someone, but I got to take accountability because I know the reasons why. For one, I'm probably full of toxic masculinity. 2, I'm probably very cheap. And 3, I just can't keep my mind off my exes. I love them very much. It must be the Pisces in me. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I think this time around, instead of going to therapy, I'd actually like to try something different. So why don't we just have a little bit of fun tonight? So here I have a very special guest. She is a spiritual consultant and an intuitive reader. Everyone, welcome, Rae.
Thanks for having me. Hello, guys.
Rae, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy you're here. The crowd, they love you. It's amazing.
Love it.
So Rae, what do you have in store for us this evening?
Okay, so I have an intuitive reading today. I like to call it intuitive reading because I'm not a fan of the word psychic. I don't know. I just feel like there's some negative connotations that tend to come with that, and also a lot of commercialization. There are so many different forms of spiritual abilities, and I think a lot of people are unaware of that. So intuitive, I feel like, kind of covers the whole bridge of what might be under there. I am claircognizant mostly, and clairsentience. Claircognizant is clear thought. Clairsentience is clear feeling. That means I get intense feelings and also messages in the form of thought brought into my head. I sometimes have clairvoyance visions, which are not something like you black out and lose sensation of like what's going on around you. It's almost like a daydream in front of you, or just like a memory thought. And I'm also highly empathic, so I can feel other people's energies and emotions. So yeah, I am overall more of a feeler. There are mediums who can speak to people that have crossed. There are people who can literally tell you like your future like that. But for me, I get more of a feeling, and I get more of advice. So I kind of tell you what you need to do to navigate your life and get to the goal that you want to accomplish.
That is amazing. And I'm so glad that you're here to be able to help me with that, because I'm a mess. I am in love with 3 women, and I just want to know what they're thinking, if they're even thinking about me, because I'm thinking about them.
I'm sure they are to a degree. Absolutely. What I have here today are some tarot cards. Tarot is just a divination tool. It's not necessarily something that is needed, but it does help make things a little bit clearer and easier for the other person to kind of recognize. What we have here is a mix of oracle cards and tarot cards. Oracle cards are more decks that are made to harness a certain type of energy in certain type of areas. So I have some love oracle decks. And then I also have an architect oracle deck, which kind of gives me the overall energy of the situation, and a spirit messenger oral deck that I like to kind of end the reading with. Whereas with tarot, it's a mix of elements, numerology, astrology, and visual images. And that kind of gives me more details, because you're probably going to know what I'm talking about much more than me. On top of the fact that I kind of go in and out of channeling So sometimes I'm not even aware of what I'm saying. So yeah, I would suggest to you to take it how it resonates. Like if it feels right, but the way I'm describing it is a little bit off, go with your gut feeling. We are all naturally intuitive. Some of us just got hit over the head with it a little bit harder than others. But most of this is just going to be me confirming what you kind of already knew. That's what I normally hear once I'm done. So
That's awesome. Has anyone ever been brought to tears before we start?
yes,
Do I need a napkin?
actually, people have been brought to tears, and because I'm very empathic, I usually get brought to tears with them. But don't be alarmed. I'm not sad or anything like that. I'm just like picking up on what the emotion is. But not everybody does. You are a Pisces egoically, and I don't know what your moon sign is, but if you're a Pisces,
A Libra.
Libra.
I did some research. I did
okay.
some research before. I only went as far as the moon.
But Libra
yeah.
likes being in the moon placement. It does well there. But yeah, Libras are emotional, even though they're really good at hiding it. But they are emotional creatures. I think we all are to some extent. Some of us are just able to like look at it more logically than others.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, let's get started.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
So you specifically wanted to talk about 3 different relationships within your life. So I feel like we should probably just go relationship by relationship if you're comfortable with that.
I'm totally cool. You know what I was actually expecting to see what you were going to read, and then whoever pops up for me could be it.
Oh, we could do that too, but if you already know like specifically who you want to talk about, it's just better just to get right to it.
I would like to have answers on all 3 of them, please.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
No, I'll take it. I'm here for it. All right.
All right. So we're going to start with.
I'll start.
Okay. I'm not the best shuffler, guys, so don't make fun of me, but I get the job done.
It's okay. We could shoot around it. We could edit it over there on your pretty smile.
Let's see. All right, and can I get 3 advice cards, please? Okay, so again, this is kind of like the overall energy of this person. So they're just going to tell me a little bit more about them. We have 2 shadows and 1 light attribute. I typically prefer to see at least 2 lights over 2 shadows, but we're going to start with the bad, and then we're going to end with the good, and then we're going to get advice for it. So we have the mentor card here in the shadow attribute, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. We have scribe here, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work.
Oh, Lord. I already know I'm the bad guy. It's me. But keep going.
And then we have the angel here, helping those in need with no expectation of return. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go to the advice. So we have vampire here, depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. We have the knight here. In the light attribute, though, loyalty, romance, and chivalry of love and honor. And we have the storyteller, light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. So that could mean, obviously I know what you do for a living, so the creative aspect is there. I'm not quite sure if she's also in the creative lane as well. But that could be telling like what this person does. What I'm focusing on, though, is kind of like this energy here. And if this is the energy of like the connection between the 2 of you, I don't like to see the mentor card there because that's like a slight bit of manipulation.
On whose part?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I feel like it would probably be more on your part.
Okay.
I do feel like this person has really good attributes, like is a very giving person. And I think that to a degree you kind of take advantage of that. And this is why I say that. I think you really love and care about this person, but I think it's that because this person really loves and cares about you. And you like how that feels, right? You might be having issues now, but this was someone who was very giving to you. I see 2 shadows and 1 light attribute. I typically rather see 2 light and 1 shadow. If I can see all lights, that's even better. But the fact that there's shadow means it's like there's a lot of karma around this relationship. And when you're dealing with like a karmic soulmate, it could be good or bad. It's not, it's kind of neutral. Like it kind of gets a bad name when people go online and they look up what a karmic, they're like, it's like toxic and terrible or whatever, but it's not always that. Sometimes it could be just like very mediocre and things kind of like fall off. So you guys in a past life, if that's something that you believe in, you guys in a past life, there were some things that happened. So now you guys are in this life are trying to balance it out. And that's what they mean by the karma. You can turn it into a great relationship. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of work though. It's really more of like a lesson you guys learn from each other, so that you can apply that outside of the relationship a lot of times. I always say when it comes to soulmates, they're here for a short time, a medium amount of time, or a forever time. And the last one is very rare. So just know that just because things may not work out in how you want them and how you see them doesn't mean that it's not for your greatest good. So looking at these cards, flipping over the mentor card because that's my first shadow and I always want to talk about the bad before the good. But we have shadow attributes. Inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. We also have scribe here, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. And then the light attribute that we have here is angel, helping those in need with no expectation of return. So that's the energy I want to focus on. These cards underneath are going to be the advice that they have to kind of rectify that situation. So when I see the angel card here in the light attribute, this is someone who's very giving, someone who's very empathic and can be easily stepped on. And maybe not always intentionally, but that this is because it's like a people pleaser, right? With the mentor card in the shadow attribute, that's usually someone who's holding somebody back from doing better, growing, whether it be simple things, how someone does things around the house and someone being controlling over that, or how a person dresses and someone being controlling over that. This is a card of control, essentially. I think I said that as so many words, but it's a card of control. And then with the scribe card here, we just talked about that. I want to get back to the angel. Okay, let's get to the advice about that. So we have it in the shadow attribute, depleting others for psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. Now, this stood out to me because you already kind of like a little bit today told me about the situation. And when you were talking about it, all I could hear in my ear, my spirit guides telling me like, this is a subtle situation. This is a backup situation. If things don't work out in other areas, this is what I want. Because you are egoically a Pisces, you are ruled by Neptune to some degree. So Neptune tends to paint really grand fantasies of how they want things to work out. And that is their expectation, right? Now, a lot of times this works because it really helps with manifestation, but other times it could be detrimental because it's leaning towards delusion. And I don't mean that in like a harsh way, but that's just Neptune.
I am
energy.
here for the harsh. Don't hold back on me, please. Please don't hold back. I'm here for it.
So it felt like, yes, you love this person, but you don't love this person as much as you love this person. But that doesn't matter because this person is too difficult. So you're going to go to the people-pleasing person and try to make things right. First off, I think this person has already started growing. So that would be impossibly difficult. That's already right away going to pop your little bubble of what your expectations for. If I do this, it's going to turn out like this. Mm-hmm. Secondly, that person deserves somebody to love them as passionately as you love that other person, right?
I agree.
So you're holding that individual back, and that mentor card of holding someone back. You're holding that individual back from finding like true love, someone who adores them to that degree, and someone that will work through the difficulties. So my suggestion to you with this, and I'm going to actually pull from a Love Oracle deck because I have a feeling it's not going to be, I don't even need to pull tarot on this situation. Okay. So this energy feels like it's for her. Right now she's working on building her career. She's working on her finances. She's working on building things for herself. And the last thing she needs is someone to come in as a distraction because they don't want to be alone. We have romantic feelings. I think there's already someone she's interested in. So, yes, could you come in and mess that up? I think that to some degree there is a big chance you could. Do I think you necessarily need to do it? No. Because even if this person that she's dealing with right now doesn't work out for her, she's still got somebody who's going to love her as passionately as she needs to.
And you know what? And I feel like I want that for her.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I want her to be able to find someone that will give her the things that she needs and take care of her and want to be there for her.
Right.
100%.
And
she deserves that, yeah.
She absolutely deserves that. And we also have the Love Yourself First card. So again, like I said, she's building her empire, what she sees for herself. This is a time that she's like learning how to truly know what her boundaries are, what she's deserving of, what she's not deserving of. So this is a big learning time for her. It's a big growth. It's an energetic shift. And yeah, I just don't think that you should step in at this time.
I agree. And, you know, I feel much better about that.
Yeah.
I have no problem letting go, knowing that she's doing better. That was the whole point of everything.
Well, I think the thing about egoic Pisces, because again, we're only talking about the sun sign. You guys are very empathetic people too. So you feel bad. And a lot of times you want to fix the situation, but you're not fixing the situation to make that person feel better. You're fixing the situation to make yourself feel better because the guilt is eating you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still selfish, and it's just not a good situation for the person, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you guys will hold on to something if you fucked it up, but if they fucked it up,
I mean, I'm out, for sure.
Right. So
I'm out of there for sure.
very easily, Pisces are very good at like cutting things if they feel drawn enough to do so. But you guys don't hold grudges. You'll eventually like let it go and come back.
All right. So what about, I guess, as far as my process and like how I should deal with it?
How you should deal with it is have the logical realization like this is not healthy for that person. I don't really love them like I am fantasizing in my head that I do, because you know you don't. You care about that person. You have love for that person, absolutely. But that's not your first choice. That alone should help you to kind of like start cutting the cord.
Mm-hmm.
If you really care about this individual, you got to think about, I'm doing this for them to have their happiness. If that's what it takes for you to cut that cord.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I think that it's just real simple. Just leave the person alone. And I know that sounds really hard. But yeah.
No, as I should. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. But I did see that you would have put in the effort. Absolutely. I just think that like things would have fizzled out again and would have been this a repetition and an unlearned lesson.
And I feel like I should have learned that, because spinning the block out here is not it.
It's not. Well, in some situations it might be.
It could be. It'd be nice, but at the same time, it's like
for the most part,
you could still want to pursue a relationship the second time around, but it's like the behavior still hasn't changed, and you're seeing the repeat patterns.
Yeah, and I just don't think that you valued her as much as you could have when you guys were together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that unintentionally, She had a lot of confidence taken from her within that relationship, and she lost herself. And then at the same time, she was still attached. You guys were both codependent. And so it's kind of this thing of like Stockholm syndrome, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the best thing you can do is just be a good person to that individual. That's it. Very simple.
Not give her the house, the cars, the keys, whatever. Just come move in with me. Let's be together and let's start fresh.
No, because it's not going to last. It's going to fizzle out. There's a reason why I ended the first time. And it had nothing to do with immaturity. It had everything to do with chemistry.
Yeah.
And you're Pisces. You want something big, right? And it wasn't big enough. And I don't think it necessarily is a bad thing. I think you guys did for each other what you needed to do in the situation. But because you guys aren't very good with confrontation, instead of just like ending things before switching up, you didn't give her a fair warning.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I gotta let her go.
You gotta let her go.
I gotta let her go. I'm gonna miss her. I still love her very much.
I mean, you guys will probably talk here and there, but I just think that emotionally, romantically, it's not gonna last. You could do it, go right ahead, but that's gonna be you ending up hurting that person again in the future.
Yeah.
I think she has a soulmate that's coming for her
good.
that's gonna treat her like she wants to be treated. But I think it's gonna take some time before that person comes in, because she's got a lot of inner work she's gotta do on herself.
Let's do girlfriend number 2.
Girlfriend number 2. Now, I was already picking up on a lot of stuff earlier. Yeah, that was like a very spicy situation. Okay, so first mistake. Never, ever lie to a ever. And if they give you a second chance, don't lie again. I think it could have been salvageable at one point, but I think now this individual is just going to harness a lot of animosity. So even if she like entertains it, it's almost like a misery thing. You know how sometimes misery feels like satisfying to a degree? Like, I'm in this situation and I'm pissed off at this person, but this person owes me. You know, like that kind of situation. So I
could say I could kind of felt it getting there. And I think that's why I'm like, we just got to get out, because this is going to get worse and worse and worse for the both of us.
Yeah. I think if you hadn't done what you did, it could have worked out. But also I think this person struggles a lot with communication, like a terrible communicator. I'm interested to see her chart, because I wonder what's sitting in her Mercury. When she's mad, she can communicate. Like, when she's triggered, she can communicate. But when it comes to like being vulnerable, completely sucks at that.
I definitely felt that.
Yeah. So
it was hard for her to say, like, I love you and I care about you. Like, that takes a lot out of her, that vulnerability.
Are earn trust people. They're not give you trust and you mess up. They're earn it. And you got her to a place where you earned it, and then you completely fumbled the ball right after you earned it.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, see, I already knew. It can be quite cynical in that way. I already knew you're going to disappoint me. And they also don't realize that they manifest that type of stuff with that mindset, because I'm sure her energy towards you made you feel unaffirmed sometimes, which caused you to do the things that you did. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like an equal thing in this situation, because with this person, it's not easy to manipulate this individual at all. And I think that's why you like the fire of it. I think you like women that are strong women and can stand on their own. And that's not a bad thing. You still can be, well, I don't even like the term alpha. I don't like that term. Omegas, when I looked up the 7 different things like and talking about, and that's the one I like, the one that has all the aspects of all of them. But an alpha, if we're going to use that term, can marry an alpha female. Like it's just 2 strong people coming together. It is possible unless you want control. So instead of you just telling this individual, I don't feel affirmed. I don't know what this is. Where is this going? How do you feel about me? We know how the physical stuff is going, all that. But like as a Pisces, you need the emotional affirmation too. Instead of doing that, you went and found it, tried to find it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But not when I was with her. When I was with her, I was with her. I was.
You were until you weren't. The second something happened that caused a break,
I was back out there.
You were back out there.
Yeah. But there were good times, though.
I mean, I'm sure they were good times, but you should have been honest about that, or you should have been honest beforehand. Like, hey, well, if when we're on a break, I'm gonna do me, and giving her the choice. Like, is this something that I want to come back to?
Yeah, I thought I could get away with it. That's why I lied.
Well, absolutely, because Pisces like fantasy. Which is great when you're trying to manifest something positive. But when you're doing something that can hurt somebody you care about, it's not a great thing.
Yes.
I'm going to pull some tarot on this one.
Yes, please. What are the cards going to say? If I need to leave her alone too, I will. I'm totally cool with that.
I just think it would be really hard to come back from that. I feel like there'd be a lot more toxicity, but I still feel like because there's a karmic soul tie with this as well, that you guys have some things that you're supposed to work out. So there might be a few more rounds. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm going to pull the tarot, because it feels infinite. It feels like there's multiple possibilities. I have blocked her on
everything. I have blocked no phones, no social.
Right now.
I don't want to talk to her ever again.
Blocked her for now.
Yeah, and I hope I keep it that way. She needs, and I feel like I'm in the same boat with her. Maybe, like, I want her to find someone better.
Maybe you'll get the answer you need to do that.
Okay. Keep shuffling.
Goodness gracious. Stubbornness. You can always tell when I'm trying to pick up on an energy and there's a stubborn, the shuffling is like becomes impossible. That person has a guard up.
Wow.
Like a...
Oh, man, she's first team all defense. First team all defense. She is all the way up. If she can't trust me now, I don't.
Well, this is not good.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not good for the both of us. We just got to leave it alone, man. We got to leave it alone.
Yeah, the problem with her is that she's just like immature minded. Her anger is a real issue. She really needs to go see somebody about that. I hate to say it so frankly, but she doesn't realize she's manifesting a lot of like negative things for herself. And that's really unfortunate.
She's manifesting negative things?
Yeah. Just because she's like got a very like cynical mindset, or like just like a glass half full mindset about things. Like she's just angry. I'm really curious because I'm feeling things like probably in her childhood. There's some trauma there.
That was hard for her to open up. It was really hard for her to open up with me.
It feels like, first of all, part of that trauma is like feeling like she's not being heard or listened to. Also feeling like there was never a safe space for her to express herself emotionally. Yeah. I think when you have to bottle things up so much, that when you're finally able to communicate it, it's like a volcano. And that's her personality. Now, she does see you as an emperor energy. Like, she does see you as like a soulmate. She sees you as somebody that's like worthy of being in a relationship with. But she knows, like, emotionally, she's just not there. Like, she can't give herself to somebody emotionally because she hasn't been able to give to herself emotionally. And now I'm starting to see a pattern with like the women that you date. You tend to attract women that are like emotionally broken. And I don't want to say it's like a savior complex, but
Here, please, let me save you. I want to be with you. I'll do anything for you. You need to feel love, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's starting to feel like that. Because again, you have the ability to see things like in the best picture possible of how they're going to end up. Like, oh, we can get there. And when it comes up short, it's like, whoa, I never planned for plan B because plan A was going to work. You just have to start seeing people for what they really are. If you are somebody who needs emotional affirmation and you're dealing with somebody who does not give emotional affirmation, it's probably not the person for you.
Agreed.
So, yes, if you wanted to work on this, like, I think she would definitely try.
Oh, gosh, no. Come on, no.
I think she would. She would accept it, but it just wouldn't work out because she's so angry. I'm not just about this situation, but just about a lot of different things. It's a pile up and she needs to talk to someone. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. She needs somebody who is actually going to listen and help her like unload those feelings and get to the core of where all of this stems from. Because there's a reason why she's attracting men like you that need emotion because she needs it herself.
Got it.
But she's scared of it.
She needs it, but she's scared.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just feel like in her case, it's probably best that we are not dealing with one another.
Yeah, because you added to it. I hate to say it like that, but like.
Yeah, and I think it was because of the plan not working. Me, and looking back in hindsight, the plan was not working, and I would get very frustrated with her, and I did not like the way I was getting frustrated.
Well, you got to realize life is not a movie. And it's so crazy what you do for your career. Like,
I don't want my life to be like a movie. This is real life. I'm out here.
Like,
I'm out here struggling.
You can't write the script. You can't write the script. You got to work with what's coming at you. If this person is telling you enough to let you know, like, it is hard for me to open up to people, the last thing you want to do is do something behind their back that's going to hurt them if they find out about it.
Agreed.
That was just like a selfish move for you. But at the same time, too, she needs to recognize, like, hey, I need some help. I need to work on these triggers that I have.
Yeah, and I think the surprising thing is that she just kept coming back. And I'm like, why? After all the things I've said, all the things that I've done.
It's a karmic tie. The contract was not over. You just cut the cycle.
Can I control the script now and cut it off now?
Yeah, if you've done all the blocking and all that, just like stick to it. That cuts the cycle. But I do think at some point in the future, she does deserve a conversation with a mix of accountability, but also you having your own boundaries and letting her know what didn't work for you. Because I think that's what she's missing. Mm-hmm. Like we were speaking about earlier. Pisces, you guys tell the truth, but you add a little razzle dazzle. So it's hard for people to read the truth. Like there's no clarity for that because it's not blunt. It's like, I love you, you know, but it's not working out. But like, man, I really care about you and I want everything to be good. And like, we can still talk. You can still hit me up if you need something. That makes no sense. Like the actions are not adding up to the words.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And if the woman really cares about you, she's going to go for your words over your actions.
But what about the feeling? What about that?
She's going to go over with your words, over the actions, because it's the hope and the belief that that is true. And you're going to show that that's true. It only lasts for so long, but when someone is really into something and they don't want to give it up, like.
So what you're telling me is that I'm selling dreams out here and they're falling for it. And when I'm out, then they're hurt.
But I think you already know how you feel about every situation.
But are those feelings valid?
If your feeling is a gut feeling, if you don't feel right dealing with a certain individual, there is a reason for that. And you as a human being need to explore that.
Okay.
And not ignore it and try to patch things up. Why do I feel uncomfortable? Well, to get your answers, what is it going to take? A conversation.
Which I'm okay with having.
Okay.
It's just, it would be nice if they want to have the conversation too.
Yeah, well, if something's going to work, there has to be communication. So it doesn't matter if they want to or not. And if they don't, that's a sign that this is probably somebody who's not emotionally intelligent enough for you right now, where you stand at.
Yeah, that's the tough part. And she's older than me.
That means nothing.
Okay, whatever. To her it is. She said that she's never dated anyone younger than her. Yeah. And that she'll never do that again because of me, probably.
Yeah, I think she looks at you like a great catch. The Emperor embodies all characteristics of the kings in tarot, and that's the King of Wands, which is confident, passion. The King of Swords, great communication, swift action. The King of Cups, emotionally available. And the King of Pentacles, which is like stability, grounding, good finances, all that. So she sees you as like having all the moving parts. But she's angry. So it doesn't matter who comes into her life right now. She's probably going to sabotage it for her own self. And you also are not doing anybody any favors by adding to it, which you did. You gave her a reason to be angry. Now there's no excuse for her anger. Now she can channel all of those projections onto you.
So I should show up with flowers and candy and just be like, I'm sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't do that. Okay.
I don't know. No. I don't think you should do that.
So I should just leave her alone too then, yeah?
I think she deserves a conversation.
How do I make that happen?
Well, you blocked her, correct?
So I have to call her?
I mean, how can you have a conversation? I'm not saying you have to do it right now. You can give it time.
I was actually going to do it right now, live, right here on the phone call and during the podcast.
We already got enough mess. We don't need that.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
But, I just think that she deserves that because of your actions. Like, she deserves that one last accountability apology. But also, these are my boundaries that you infringed upon. And I don't want you to walk away from the situation not understanding why it's not working out. Like, you need to be clear. And I think that's what a lot of like men struggle with. Just be straightforward and honest. That's it. That's all it takes. And there's going to be hurt regardless if somebody doesn't want a relationship to end. But at least you can give them clarity with that hurt.
But what if I show up and I say that and she wants to have sex with me?
Oh my goodness, you don't have to even show up in person.
Okay, but what if she calls me and she's just like, I want you to come over and have sex after this?
You have control over your body?
All right.
I mean, like I said, if you want to go for another round, you can. Okay, when it comes to our life, people say astrology, because we have free will, whatever, astrology doesn't apply. Astrology is like a map. There's a destination on that map, and there's so many different routes to get to that. If you want to drag this out, you can. If you want to work hard to try to turn this around, you can. But it just doesn't feel like that's what the purpose of this situation is for. What did you learn in this situation? Have you learned anything?
Yes, I've definitely learned a lot in this situation.
Okay. Do you think that you could apply those things to a new romantic situation with a clean slate and no drama in the background?
I feel like when other opportunities do come for that, I let them go because I still go back to her. So there have been situations where I've tried to move on, but I still am looking at her pictures online. I'm still wanting to call her. I'm still,
You called this relationship toxic.
Yeah, on both ends.
You described this energetic connection as toxic. No one else described it as that. You did.
It feels bad.
Okay, there we go. So if that's how you feel, why do you feel like it's significant to stay in this cycle? Because the sex is good?
That's a big part of it, yeah.
Because this person gives you a rush?
Yes, she does.
Okay. So here's the thing with that. When both people don't have enough emotional intelligence and maturity and have not done enough shadow work within themselves, try to get together with that type of energy, it usually goes south. Does it not mean that you cannot explore different things and work on yourself and maybe in a few years this comes back around? That's possible. But right now, this is not it. Ace of Cups reverse is literally a big red flag that this is not it. It's not sustainable.
And I also feel it's not it either.
Yeah.
I think it was just more of getting the details of the in-between and also just trying to figure out where I got to hold my accountability to.
Yeah, your accountability is that you are a sucker when it comes to easily being seduced. So physicality is a big thing for you.
I'm a big hoe. Is that what you're saying?
That's
man.
That's the number one. Yeah, I just feel like there's too much. Like, yeah, could you work on this and like...
Well, I could get down with giving an apology.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that it's going to be good for you because remember how we spoke about earlier, you're someone who internalizes guilt. So, yeah, confrontation might not be your favorite thing when it comes to what you have to like say to a person about what you've done, but it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying I'm sorry and apologizing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem for me. It's just a matter if it's received, but if it's like...
It doesn't matter if it's received or not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Cool. Fuck it then.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
As
and
long
release
as you
it.
did it, you've balanced your karma because that's what a karmic soulmate tie is about. It's like balancing the karma from the wrongs that were done in past life. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I need to look up karmic soul tie a little bit more, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of people in your life are going to be a karmic soul tie to it, especially like more tumultuous relationships. But there are going to be a few. It's not a rare thing. Like people think there's a twin flame in the karmic. It doesn't work like that. Like we all have multiple different soulmates that play their purpose in different ways.
Gotcha. All right. Girlfriend number 3. Let's see what she's talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to pull the energy on her. And that other one, the energy was real easy to pick up on.
It's like, I see that energy on the daily.
Yeah.
Everybody in motherfucking toxic relationships.
That one was really easy.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Because she's got a very like spicy demeanor.
Very spicy.
Yeah,
She is.
very boss-like.
Yeah.
So it's strong. It's easier to pick up on versus like she was a little bit more demure, like a little bit more softer than that individual. So
Yes, very soft. She's very soft, very kind.
this is great. It's a lovely thing.
It's not a movie, I swear. I don't want it to be a movie, please. It's too much.
Oh, shadows. Why do we have shadows?
Oh, no.
I hope shadows aren't always like anything super crazy, as long as it's not like manipulative or anything. Just a little bit of sadness. Okay, so we had the child orphan and the thief in shadow attributes. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. We also have thief, shadow attributes, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other people, or other powers you think you lack. I really think that has a lot to do with the affection, especially with the abandonment and seeking inappropriate families. Then we have the rescuer here in the light attribute. Always got to have a rescuer with someone who's seeking that type of stuff. Provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Okay, so when it comes to this Aquarius, I also felt like this was someone that was like a sweet energy. But this energy is very similar to as far as like being someone who's really caring. But Aquarians, we're humanitarians. We love taking care of people. That's our thing. We distract ourselves by taking care of people. With that being said, I think there's abandonment issues on both sides because you are someone who can't really be by yourself. Like, what's the longest time you've gone without a relationship or like a hookup or something?
Oh, man. In the last year and some change, I don't even think no more than like 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
This is probably because there was always somebody that would come back or it'll be a new person. And yeah, I think for like the last year or 2 years, it's just been.
Well, that's kind of your problem, right? Because you're not like spending time to reflect and learn about yourself without a distraction.
Yeah. I actually feel like I'm there now. I am definitely there now because I'm not dating or seeing anyone at the moment. Yeah, I am single on Valentine's Day.
Yes, but how long is it going to last? That's the question. Like, yes, you can get a lot of information about yourself in a couple of weeks, but like there's some people who go years. Like my last relationship was 2017. I spent this whole entire time. Well, there was a little Piscean situation in the midst of that. But like for the last maybe 2-3 years, I've been like solely focused on myself and I just started getting back trying to get in the dating game. With that being said, I was able to figure out so much about myself, like my triggers, where they came from, like random memories I never even remembered, epiphanies, because I spent so much time just reflecting, writing, also learning about things, and learning about spiritual things helped unlock information as well. So with that being said, this is kind of like a lighter version of what I saw. Like it doesn't feel as manipulative. It feels more like empathic, rescuing. And I feel like this one is a little bit more equal. I feel like you both are kind of giving that rescuer energy to each other.
And I think that's why I really wanted to move forward with that. I had no problem, probably my fault, but I had no problem telling her how I felt, that I really wanted to be with her and really make it work.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel like the energy was matched because even with her, it's hard for her to express her emotions.
Yeah, I think the energy is matched. I just think that she's cautious. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with your track record, even though she may not be aware of your track record, I'm aware of it. I understand where that caution would come from, even intuitively.
I actually told her everything.
Oh, well, there you go. That's an absolute stamp on her being cautious, but that it's respectable, right? Mm-hmm. Like she respects it, she understands, right? But there is this fear of commitment underlying with this individual. I think you're someone who will jump in and be like, let's just see how it goes. But this person doesn't operate like that. Once an Aquarius falls, we fall. And that's like straight up ego. That person becomes, I hate to use this word, like property. Like we feel attached and tied to that person. So we will do anything to fight for that situation.
And I got that sense from her, especially when it know that she was devastated when she got.
Right. So with that being said, if she A, knows about your track record, and B, has feelings for you, what she's doing right now is detaching and slowing down the process. Because an Aquarian, we know really quickly.
Yeah, and I was okay with that, but I think with her, I expressed to her numerous times, like, you are the one. I want to be with you.
Yes, but just because you say that doesn't mean that she's seen the actions of that, right? So, and it doesn't mean that you're not doing certain actions. It just means, it doesn't mean that you're not doing certain actions. It just means that you are not, you haven't done enough for her to be like, all right, I can trust. I know me as an Aquarius woman and an Aqua Venus. That's how I love as well. If someone gave me that type of information, it wouldn't deter me from dealing with them, but definitely would put me more on the cautious side of how I deal with them and how quickly things progress.
Well, I kind of also cut it off early because I was feeling the energy of her, being down. She did admit to me that she and certain things. And I said, hey, I am willing to go on this journey with you. I'm willing to make it happen.
Well,
but
it's not your job to go on that journey with her.
It's not, but I wanted to kind of give her that comfort that she's not alone because we've already been through so many things before, even though it's not my job. But I willingly wanted to because I cared that much about her. I wanted to show her that, hey, I can be a husband for you.
Right. But I do think that that's something more suitable for your personality versus hers, right? Egoic Aquarians, we tend to dissect things privately, independently. It's not that we don't want to reach out for help. It's just that it feels like shame, like a weakness to us. So she's working through it herself. She has her own process. And I know that you want to be a part of that process, but if you really care, if you feel like this could be wifey, you'd be patient because you know that she's going through something and that she's trying to work through it. It's not that she's pushing you out.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I wanted to do that with her. I said, hey, whatever process you need, take the time you need. That's what I actually told her, even though it's if you don't want me to be a part of it, I get it. That's okay.
But you cut it off early?
Yeah, I cut it off early.
But you're patient?
For her own sake, because she couldn't really tell me if she wanted to be with me. I had a lot of uncertainty.
She probably doesn't know.
And that's okay. Right, so I asked her, and if she's not ready, that's fine, but this is where I'm at. But if you don't see me that way, I also don't know what our future is going to be. I don't think it's the thing
that she doesn't see you that way. I think it's the thing that she's working through things and healing,
and that's
which
okay.
Honestly, she should really be by herself.
Yeah.
But you should too, right? But at the same time, if this is someone that you really care about and you're like, all right, well, we're speeding up this timeline. We're going to do this now and not later. You didn't exude enough patience for the individual that you were dealing with.
Mm-hmm. She needed more time. And I was ready.
And you were ready. And you wanted her to go on your speed. And that's the thing. Pisces, you guys are like Speedy Gonzalez. And that shit burns out quick because of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great lesson to show you to slow down. Okay, so right now you guys are going through a separation. Absolutely. Makes sense. But I do see past life relationship here. So this is a soulmate. I don't feel like it's as karmic as the other ones. I feel like this is when you're supposed to apply those lessons from the other ones onto. It says engagement. So there is potential for a commitment. Engagement doesn't always mean marriage, but there is potential for commitment here. But yeah, there needs to be a separation right now because there's stuff she's got to work on and there's stuff that you got to work on. But I do think that there is potential for this. I'll even pull some tarot cards.
Oh my gosh. We got some hope tonight. I was being down and out. I'm just like, I need to go to therapy and work out my shit.
The sad thing is you definitely triggered some of her abandonment issues by cutting it off. But that's something she's supposed to work on. That can't be a trigger. She's got to be fine being by herself. We have the Page of Wands here. So
she's fucking someone else. Oh, how dare her.
I don't think she's fucking anybody.
Oh, I'll be so hurt.
I don't think she is. But I think she is sad. She thought this was something that was going to work out. And she just wasn't ready. And you weren't ready either. Everything happens for a reason.
I felt ready with her.
Yeah, so she feels abandoned. She feels like it's over. I think that if you were to hit her up, I think there would be a response. I don't think there would really be animosity either. I think it would just be more of like, oh, let's see where this goes.
Oh. That sounds like an opening.
Yeah, it is an opening.
It's not
there
like, oh, here we go.
Confusion, in the action space. I mean, for you and probably for her as well. The Eight of Swords depicted in tarot, it has a lady. I call this the, what was that TV show where she had to blindfold herself? What is it called? It was on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about? It went super viral.
Blind Spot or Blind Sport. I don't know, something.
Whatever that movie was, but
terrible.
I call it that.
Sandra Bullock is in it.
Yes,
I can't believe it. Yeah, that one.
So this card is depicted a woman in the middle of 8 swords that are stabbed into the ground. And then her arms are lightly bound. Her eyes are lightly bound. And she can easily just unbind herself, take off the blindfold, and walk through the swords. But instead, she pretends, or she has this feeling as if she's trapped, right? But we have the Seven of Pentacles here, which is so weird. It's reverse. Usually it's an indication of not having confusion. Okay. So I think she's aware that she has this anxiety when it comes to love, or like this issue when it comes to being outworth or communicating with something. And I think she thinks like it's a dead deal. Like it's not going to happen. So my question is, if he comes forward towards her, they're showing like right now it's time for separation between you two. The Hermit card.
So I just got to leave her alone.
For now.
Okay.
Because I do see success, strength. So we have the Six of Wands, strength, and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, you got to get to a better place too. So this is a time of like spiritual introspection for the both of you, like working on yourselves. You got to figure out what it means to be an actual King of Pentacles. Women want a King of Pentacles. If we can't have an Emperor, we want a King of Pentacles.
She's worth it. I can do that for her.
They are grounded. They have it together as far as like the feeling of safety and stability. And the Ten of Pentacles was reversed. So obviously she wants a King of Pentacles to have that Ten of Pentacles with, which is like a happy family life, having it all as a couple. So,
which I want with her too. She's worth it. She definitely is.
You got to make yourself someone who's reliable. You can't be flaky.
Okay.
That's what an Aquarius woman is looking for. But I do see success here. And you just have to overcome the mental of like, oh, she's going to be mad or it's not going to work out, because that's what you've had in your other two relationships. This person's not the same person.
Yeah. I don't see her, like I have no problem hitting her up. I think it was just seeing if she did want me or not.
Like I said, she's not like these other two people.
Yeah.
She's actually a very open and understanding person. Maybe she doesn't convey her emotions well, but I know that she's been able to help you sort through yours.
Gotcha. Okay.
So she is someone who's open to having the conversation. The thing is, do not show up unless you are going to stand up.
I think that's fair. But now I'm in like, well, I think I need a little bit more time.
I think you need a little bit more time. Well, we have the Hermit card here.
But is she going to be around, or is she going to move on and find someone else?
I think that the door is open, and I think that is the least of what you should be thinking about right now. I don't think that even should be your concern. I think your concern should be getting myself right.
So I should show up at her house with flowers and just kidding.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to do. But yeah, I think the both of you have potential in the future. Absolutely.
Wow.
And that future could be in a few months. Who knows? But like, you guys both have to have some serious realizations about yourself. She has abandonment issues, and she can be quite codependent. You have abandonment issues, and you can be quite codependent. And two codependent people coming together never ends well, right? Or it never ends if it's supposed to. So you guys need to really work on yourselves. Be the Hermit, which is represented by the Virgo card, which is so funny because you were dealing with the Virgo last. But this is a card of spiritual introspection. This is about learning about yourself, taking time to yourself, self-care. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you feel like you're in a good place, pray to God that she's matching up with that energy and reach out. It's going to be a shot in the dark. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm okay with taking the shot. The shot's not the issue. I just have to be mentally prepared.
So when you are,
because I don't want to go in and be like, hey, let's get together. Let's do this. Let's hook up, blah, blah, blah. And then
make sure this is something you really want. Because I will say this relationship lacks the passion that you have with the other person. And I think that's part of the great aspect for you. Like, you love that passion. But if you want that from this Aquarius partner, then you're going to have to be vocal about that. And I cross my fingers. I hope that she's in a place too. I think she would really benefit on working on those triggers. Not everybody walking out of your life is an abandonment. Sometimes it's a blessing. And if she shifts her perspective on it and she really works on loving herself, she'll be great, because you do need somebody who's going to emotionally affirm you. Aquarians, we just kind of do it with action, right?
And that's what she said a lot. It's like, I pay attention more to your actions more than the words. So in her case, she's not going to be very descriptive, but I see her actions, and I feel like when she does show love, she does do it through that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I make sure that I do affirm her and I see her and I appreciate her for that.
Yeah. You guys just both have a little bit of work to do, but you would have to do this even if you didn't try the situation again. It's going to have to happen regardless. So, yeah, I see potential.
Well, guess what? I am shooting 1 for 3, baby. That's 33%. Hey, man, I understand.
33 is a master number. It's the visionary number in numerology. It's also an important number in religion.
Okay.
3, the Holy Trinity. But also Jesus died at the age of 33. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of
numbers
occult-like things embedded within religion. So,
wow. Yeah. Secrets on secrets.
Secrets on secrets.
Well, thank you so much for this reading. This was so much fun. I enjoy it. Thank you for
end.
Oh, there's more. Yes, I'm ready for it.
An oracle card. I'm going to get 2.
I do have another girlfriend I could throw in there.
I cannot. No, you don't need any more girlfriends.
I love all of them. I do. I love them so much.
That's
gosh.
a beautiful thing, but you have to figure out that, we all need to know that love is not enough. Mm-hmm. What person you're going to put in the work with? When you get bored and you don't want to be around this individual anymore, are you just going to flip the strip? I can't even talk. Are you going to flip the script on them, or are you going to work to rejuvenate the relationship? All of these things are important.
Yeah, and I think I brought her up because she's worth the work.
Yeah.
She's definitely worth
I don't think it's going to be much work. I think it's really personal work when it comes to you. I think you mesh together very well. But as far as the crazy toxic passion that you have in the second relationship, that's what's drawing you. It's the lust aspect, really. You guys have an energetic connection, sparks. So it's it feels euphoric, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. It's like a siren. It's there to draw you in for a reason.
Mm-hmm. So I love that reason, by the way, very much.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so we have 2.
All right.
These are cards, basically from your spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, whoever it may be. But dearest, wonderful you. To help you manifest a life for the highest good, we invite you to examine your deepest desires. Imagine all your desires, no matter what kind, like magic seed pods in a basket, glowing with infinite potential. Look closely at each one. Are you afraid that some may bring you too much attention and invite negative reactions from others? Is change too daunting? Are you afraid to stretch and grow? Let yourself be led forward and let the seeds of positive intentions take to the wind. Your desires count and you are worthy of them. They are essential for co-creating your world. Did you ever consider that when a desire comes from deep within you, it might be spirit moving you to create something beautiful to share with others? Some desires are infused with miraculous powers to move the heart and influence the world in ways you can't possibly know.
Wow.
And the last one, dear you. It might be hard to believe you'll ever get to where you want to go, feel the way you want to feel, and find peace and security, but you can. There's lots to celebrate in this life, but first you need to let go of this attachment to achieving certain results. It is easy to get caught in the endless loop of wanting this or that so you can feel safe. The only way out is to surrender the attachment. Empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. The compulsion will be lifted and peace will come. Trust that something better waits, that something new will open up and you will see new opportunities for fulfillment. The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what you're really looking for is spirit. That connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Give yourself a hug. We've got you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, ancestors.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
But yes, don't be betting on these thoughts on how you want things to work out. Just be open, Stop painting the movies. Write the movies, film the movies, Make the scripts, but don't do that with your life because it's never going to work in your favor. You're always going to be disappointed. Always.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was dope.
I hope that helped.
Heck yeah, that helped. That shit was fire. If anything, it's always trying to figure out different ways to look within. I mean, everybody has their own kind of way of how they internalize information that could be helpful, especially if they want to grow. And there's other methods other than probably just sitting with a therapist or a shrink, not minimizing that, but at the same time, you got to figure out what's best for you to help you get through very tough situations with yourself.
I have 2 clients that are therapists. I go to readers myself. Like, I love therapy. I've tried so many different forms of therapy. I think that those things coincide together. Therapists have tools to help you work through it. Readers help you identify it.
Yes.
And
Okay. I like that. So it
be
has like 2 different purposes. Gotcha.
2 different purposes, because to me, when I'm done with the reading, I feel like I didn't tell you guys much of anything. But I always get feedback that I've told somebody what they needed to hear, like what they needed. On my birthday, I got so many emotional texts from my clients telling me how much I've changed their lives and how much I've helped them. And it's crazy that people, I feel like, put me on a pedestal that I haven't even put myself on. But I'm glad that whatever comes out my mouth, whatever I'm meant to channel, is able to help people. Like, that's my goal. I think there's a lot of people out here who have a skepticism issue. And it's so funny that most of my clients are skeptics or people from religious backgrounds. But they have a skepticism issue, and they rather be negative about it, chastise people, or tell them not to interact with certain things like this. And I just feel like if something's helping somebody, does it really matter? Like, even if this just so happened to be the placebo effect, and I don't believe it is, or the Brenham effect, I think that's what the people who hate astrology say. Even if it were to be that, if something's helping somebody, what is the issue? So I'm glad that with my gifts, I'm able to do what I can do. And yeah, I hope to do it for many, many more years to come.